This video contains spoilers from the world and story of The Forest. Please beware. Steady, steady. You focus, bow drawn and aimed at its target. That group of cannibals has been making your life into a nightmare for the past few nights. Always sneaking around your defenses, just waiting for you to let your guard down. Well, that ends today. You're gonna bring the fight to them. You're aimed perfectly. Now just for the release. No, you slip on a wet piece of rock and the arrow just misses its mark. Internally, you curse the rain that had been going strong for the past week as you ready your axe and mount the defense. The mutants rush towards you, but among them, you notice something else. Something different. Something much larger. Oh well, it looks to be moving really slowly, so you'll deal with it later. The first cannibals come at you. You parry their blows, being careful of your footing and positioning. After a few rounds, they stop. Huh, you think. That's right, back off. But that doesn't seem to be quite it. They appear to be looking at something just over your shoulder and backing off. This can't possibly end well. You spin around at an instant, bow drawn, but it is too late. From within the trees comes charging a colossal mass, running way faster than you could have ever guessed. You can't jump out of the way in time. You're hit, and everything goes black. The mountain of meat you just ran into there, or better yet, you got ran into by, is the so-called Cowman. Yet another horrific creature found throughout the peninsula of the forest, and the topic for today's video. We'll be exploring everything there is to know about this enemy, including its appearance, potential history, behavior, and by the end, I'll also mention how you can best defend yourself against them. So without any further ado, grab a handful of arrows, pack a grenade or two, and let's go. Now the Cowman rank among creepy mutants when it comes to determining how deadly something is in the world of the forest, and given that we've covered 2 such mutants on the channel already, you should know pretty well what we're in store for here. Overwhelming strength? Check. HP that would make your health bar blush? Check. And surprising agility when agitated? All right there for the taking. Well, maybe with the last one being a slight exception. Oh, I'm not trying to say they aren't fast. Quite the opposite actually. When a Cowman decides to do its signature charge attack, it can easily outrun the player even if you're sprinting full force away from it. Combine that with a stomp attack which makes the ground itself quake, and a belly flop for medium distance DPS, and you have a recipe for a very bad mutant encounter. On top of that, I know beauty is supposed to be in the eye of the beholder, but I don't think it's too controversial to say that Cowmen aren't exactly the prettiest of fellows. Grotesquely obese with malformed facial features and disproportionate limbs, this creature will certainly not be winning many beauty contests in the near future, but that doesn't mean there isn't anything interesting to be said about its appearance. For one, as opposed to the other creepy mutants, it doesn't seem to be made out of multiple fused bodies, instead simply looking like a warped version of a regular person, or perhaps an overgrown fetus. 2 options, both of which could potentially be explained through the lore. Some have theorized that Cowmen are yet again victims of the resurrection obelisk, not unlike their Virginia/Armsy cousins. This time with the original subject being Zachary, a person who can be seen on the milk carton item, given that he is quite well built and went suddenly missing. However, there is a different potential theory, linking it to the babies Virginia is capable of giving birth to. Maybe this is what they all eventually grow up into. Unfortunately, as of right now, all we can do in this regard is speculate, as given that Cowmen don't appear in the Sahara slideshow presentation, they may have even come into existence way later than the other creepy mutant counterparts, and thusly there is no research on them. Now even despite that, it doesn't mean that you should be going into an encounter with one of these unprepared and clueless, because that is a recipe for disaster. So, what should you do if you run into one? Well, for starters, fighting these in open areas can certainly be a great help. Now, in my personal experience, staying at a medium distance from them and circle strafing through an open area is a very reliable way to dodge the charge, leaving you with only the task of damaging it, which can be done handily with the use of bows, explosives, or basically just about any ranged weapon. I mean, thank the Lord these don't come in a blue variant. They already have some of the highest damage outputs in the game, and that would just be true overkill. But if you stay smart and you stay out of their line of charge, the other attacks shouldn't be too much of a hassle. So at the end of the day, the next time you see a group of creepy mutants, and one of them is looking like it had one too many pizzas over the past month, well, don't rule it out of the encounter just yet, because it might just turn out to be the fastest and most dangerous of the whole group. But that brings us to the end of the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed and have learned at least something new about the fascinating and terrifying world of the forest. If you like this video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated. And if there's anything that I missed or a theory that you would like to cover, make sure to leave that down in the comments as well. I would very much like to read it. Now with that, I want to wish you all a beautiful rest of today, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.